Hello and welcome back to the Nasty Metal, a particular channel here at YouTube, and welcome to, of course, the Wednesday review. Now, since, of course, I have returned to, of course, reviewing Doomsday's Today record stuff, on my return, I, of course, have finally gone around to, of course, reviewing this ever since that first box I received from Paul, which of course really began the Doomsday's Today Records Wednesday review, or at least every single Wednesday being at least dedicated to, of course, Doomsday's Today Records stuff. I am finally gotten around to, of course, reviewing the Doomsday Conspiracy demo, which was recorded and somewhat released in 2005. And of course was reissued for the very first time since 2005 on June 9th, 2017, of course through, well, Paul's label. This of course was also one of Paul's other bands besides Nihilistic Outlaw, Criminal Order, and Of Blood and Mockery, and some of those other bands. You know, he's been a part of quite a few bands at this point, and this was one of his other ones, I think, along with Nihilistic Outlaw, Criminal Order. So, I'm going to read off, of course, the Bandcamp page here to kind of give you at least a bit of a backstory, because since there is at least a good enough backstory already detailed on this page. So, Doomsday Conspiracy was formed in 2003 by, of course, Chris Valencia on guitar, Ruben Rodriguez on bass, and Paul Sanchez on vocals/concepts. The band used a couple of different drummers on two different recording sessions of this rare and only studio demo, which is finally seeing the light of day after 12 years. This demo was released back in 2005, according to at least a page, at least around the summer of 2005. That it could easily either be July or August. Which less than a dozen were produced and unleashed for the underground at the time. At the time, they were copied and dubbed normal bias recording cassettes, Xerox covers, flyers, etc. Okay, I'm just going to kind of stop there, because in many ways, some of this also might even use in the actual review. So, since at least that's enough, at least bio, to at least to catch you guys up on, since I know most of you are so unfamiliar with this for sure. Along with me, I wasn't very much aware of at least of Doomsday Conspiracy until partnering up with, of course, Paul of Doomsday's Today Records. So without further ado, let's actually get into my review of the Doomsday Conspiracy demo. Alright, so Doomsday Conspiracy, the only demo within their discography, since pretty much it was a one-and-done band. Before I get into any of my thoughts on this demo, let's definitely run down these, actually 4 songs, even though technically there were 3, and I'll elaborate on that while I read off, of course, the rest of some of this Bandcamp bio here. These 3 songs pretty much consisted of Children Fear the Name of God, 33rd Degree Right, They Live, We Sleep, and of course the 4th track, which will be elaborated on, is titled Abomination Rising, and it's of course is a 28-minute instrumental, and all of this actually clocks in around 13 minutes. It's time to elaborate a little bit on this. The original demo featured only 3 songs, which were, of course, Children for the Name of God, 33 Degree Right, and, of course, They Live, We Sleep. Well, here on Bandcamp only included an instrumental piece called Abominations Rising, which is really an unfinished track that was never properly finished at the time. Here you are hearing it for the first time. Okay. Now, upon listening to this demo, well, of course, Doomsday Conspiracy, the genre that they play, it's definitely within the death metal, at times almost grindcore or brutal death metal camp. So it's very typical of that genre for sure. I mean, some of the lengths for some of these songs, again, Children Fear the Name of God, pretty much clocks into 3 minutes and 25 seconds. 33 Degree Right pretty much clocks in at 5 minutes and 14 seconds. And of course, They Live, We Sleep clocks in at 3 minutes and 24 seconds. Now, this is definitely a rough recording for sure. This is definitely typical, at least, of demos. Especially this almost sounds like something that could have been released in the 90s for sure. It's got that 90s style demo production. It's very much, I mean, given how many times they probably dubbed this cassette, these audio tracks onto at least a cassette, it does have that almost, I would say maybe second or third generation demo quality to it, but it does add, I guess, to the charm of it, some of these songs for sure. Definitely, it's very interesting. It's definitely cool. As far as, of course, the instrumental, which was basically can be seen as a bonus track here, Abomination Rising. It does have that unfinished feel to it because of it's definitely the same rhythm and riff and so on musically that at least ends out They Live, We Sleep, but it's definitely without vocals and so on, and it only lasts for a bit. Maybe this would have been at least a full track, but it didn't really end up becoming a full track. So either way, it's still interesting. It's nice to at least have a track like that at least added in, and it does kind of, and in many ways, does somewhat lengthen a bit of the time length for sure. So all in all, I don't think there's anything bad I can say about the demo here. It's definitely raw recording, and that's for sure. But it's typical, at least, of demo quality of this. But it's not bad. Definitely something that I do enjoy, though, again, this is probably not something that's probably going to be played a whole lot of times. It's definitely one of those that has kind of a interesting look into, of course, at least Paul of Doomsday's Today Records recording history. It's definitely a nice look into his past, so that's all it is, and it's fun, and that is that. So it's definitely very cool. So I think I can just leave it there. This is definitely a fun demo. I'm not going to give it any rating, okay? There's actually going to be no rating for this, but I will definitely say it's definitely cool. Again, if you dig death metal and you like to also check and are interested in checking out demos and some of that, and are just interested in the whole history of just death metal demos and so on, definitely check this out. Again, this is, of course, on Bandcamp, at least on Doomsday's Today Records Bandcamp page. I don't know if this is still being sold. At least on here, it doesn't seem like it's up for sale anymore. It could be out of print. Still, though, it is name your price. You can pick any price at least to pay for it. So therefore, and of course, there's of course the audio tracks are of course on there to listen to. So if you dig at least this kind of stuff, this is obviously going to be something that could very well be up your alley. So with that, I hope all enjoyed this every Thrasher Sam out, and I'll see you all later again next week. Will be another Doomsday Today Records release. So with that, I hope you all enjoyed this every Thrasher Sam out, and I'll see you all later. Take care, everyone, and have a good week.